Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins. For many farmers, planning for 2024 began in the middle of 2023, but there are several things that need to be considered before planting season gets underway across the Buckeye State. Joining us is Nationwide Agribusiness Risk Management Consultant Derek Homer. He's an Iowa farmer joining us once again. It's good to see you, Derek, as always.
You as well.
Laying the foundation for your 2024 crop begins with a look in the mirror. And in a new article on Nationwide's Ag Insight Center, you recommend weighing a few key variables in planning for this 2024 crop year. First and foremost, crop rotation and soil health.
Absolutely. We can't underscore enough the agronomic value of crop rotation. So it's a matter of managing pests, diseases, insects, even those flora and fauna in the soil that make your herbicides work better or poorer.
Fertilizer and crop protection products, something we need to take a look back at too. And we should mention, and even I know all the way out in Iowa, 2023 was pretty successful. There's a lot we can gain some knowledge on looking forward here this year.
Yeah, so everything changes every year, right? We grew a lot more crop with a lot less water than we thought we probably would in 2023, which is great. It was a great fall for soil sampling and really kind of keeping tracking what those levels are. Maybe we removed a little more than we thought we should. Fall 2023 fertilizer was kind of interesting with the Mississippi River being so low. It changed the amount of fertilizer available that could come up the river and grain that could go down it. So planning ahead for what our removal rates are, getting good tests is really, really important. And then the sooner we can make those fertilizer decisions, the sooner we can start to get that applied and maybe makes us a little more risk averse to water levels or things like that.
You mentioned how no 2 years are the same, but something that's changing at a rapid pace is the technology we use on the farm. What should we consider as far as 2024 when it comes to tech?
There is so much new tech out. I was recently at a farming show, and it even shocked me some of the things that were coming down the pipe. I see a lot of biologicals that they're coming on with some new technology. I think at this point, most farmers either have bought into GPS or they haven't. But we do still see some people implementing new shutoffs, variable rate planting, variable rate nitrogen. We really advise anybody to stop, take some time to run some numbers on it because there can be a real advantage from an input saving standpoint and a crop boost standpoint to really kind of looking at some of that new technology and what you can incorporate today and next year and the year after.
What should farmers consider as far as labor and time as they plan out the rest of this year?
So the way spring looks right now, it looks like we're going to have a nice big open spring, which is great from a labor standpoint, right? Um, Labor shortage continues, right? Everyone's looking for good help on the farm, and so I would say that today I'm taking advantage of everything I possibly can to start getting things ready for that 2024 crop. Whether that's trimming some trees, looking at fields we need to level, maybe even looking at some fields that we feel pretty comfortable we can no-till. The soil, from what I've been out in the fields, has been really mellow. So that opportunity to maybe no-till more than we have in the past may be there.
Where does farm risk management fit into the conversation when it comes to planning ahead?
I think the more we can plan ahead, the more risk averse we are in anything. I know a lot of people following the supply shortages that we had a couple years ago started kind of changing their mentality of I want all my inputs on the farm now, right? So I know a lot of people that they have their seed and the seed on the farm, they have their chemistry on the farm. Maybe they've got more in the shop than they've ever had before, and I think that's a great thing as far as managing the risk of those inputs. The thing I would say is I need to follow up with their agent to make sure that they're covered in case, right? So if I've got my shop full of seed and chemistry, I want to make sure I have enough coverage for the dollars of product that are in there should something catastrophic happen. And I
And
think that's a
just
good risk strategy.
and with just about everything in agriculture, there is no one size fits all approach to this, is there?
No, no, there definitely isn't.
Derek Homer joining us from Nationwide Agribusiness, the risk management consultant. He has a great piece on the Ag Insight Center Nationwide has for farmers across the country at aginsightcenter.com. Considerations you should make as you plan out your 2024 crop year. Derek, always great to see you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Who feeds your need for new ideas for your family's best farm future? Ohio Farm Bureau. We work with our members to shape ag policy that will positively impact our industry. Farm Bureau is advancing business solutions to give you a competitive advantage. We help you gather information to stay ahead of important topics and technologies. Plus, Ohio Farm Bureau creates opportunities for growth. Ohio Farm Bureau, feeding your need for new ideas.
Find out how Nationwide Agribusiness can help you grow your business. Get to know the people with the experience and knowledge to help you. Whether you are looking to protect your farm or ranch from the ground up, or need someone who understands your changing commercial ag needs. Find out how to better manage the risks of your ag business, or how quickly you can get back to business. Learn how you can protect your next with Nationwide on your side.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins. There's an old saying that a farmer makes the news when he or she isn't making it, but that's not the case across the Buckeye State because of Spectrum News One. Joining us for the podcast this week, Chuck Ringwalt, the anchor with Spectrum News One that does the weekly agriculture segment. Chuck, always great to see you. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, Ty. Thank you so much for inviting me on. Love speaking with you. Love having you on the Ag Report, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today.
Many people would be surprised that watch your show on a daily basis that agriculture is Ohio's #1 industry. You know, we have so many generations further and further removed from the farm that people just don't understand what happens when it comes to farming and food production. But you're opening a lot of eyes and have been doing this for a couple of years. Why do you take the time to weekly highlight Ohio agriculture?
Yeah, we feel like it's our mission to tell Ohio's story. And like you said, agriculture plays such an important role. It is a part of Ohio's story. And the people who make up the agriculture community play such a large role in that, too. That it wouldn't happen if it weren't for them. So we make it our mission to speak with as many people across the state as we can, specifically when we do the Ag Report, that people that live within that agriculture world, to find out a little bit more about what their lives are like, and for folks really to understand where their food comes from and all that's incorporated from getting it on the farm to those store shelves and then onto their dinner tables.
Leave it to you TV guys to make me feel underdressed. I mean, you got the suit and the tie and the backdrop of the TV studio. At least I did my hair for this. That's about as good as it gets. And you take a lot longer on that, I'm sure. I do.
No, I appreciate it. I wanted to up the ante. I know we've spoken before and figured, put my best foot forward, and it's just nice always being able to speak with you.
Where do you fall into the knowledge of agriculture category? Are you learning quite a bit as you visit with Andy Vance each week about the industry, or do you already have some kind of background about it?
I have zero background in agriculture outside of the Ag Report. I wanted to know more about where my food came from. And Andy, you mentioned Andy Vance. He is such an expert, such a good friend on top of that. But he really is able to take high-level information and distill it down for somebody like myself to understand. And then our conversation works really well that we're able to, again, break that topic into so many different facets that, hopefully it's something where, a farmer at home who's surrounded by this stuff all the time still finds it interesting, and also people that have never entered into that space find it interesting as well, and ultimately want to learn more and want to come back, the next week when we tell the next Ag Report.
You also know by talking with Andy, there are no shortage of issues impacting agriculture in Ohio and across the U.S. What are some of the things that stick out to you that you covered in 2023?
Yeah, we really dialed in on the supply chain, and there's so many different ways that you could attack that, so to speak. One of them was when dealing with the bird flu and what that did for folks all across the state. Ohio is a big player when it comes to egg laying, as I know you're aware, a big player in the poultry space as well. We spoke with a man named Lincoln Yee out of Cleveland, really investing in East Cleveland through a USDA grant and trying to upscale his business in order to have more product, more chickens that could go out to supply for cafeterias and prepared meals all throughout the country, not just here in Ohio. So followed him as one example. We really try to highlight, again, the people that make these stories special, right? It's one thing just to talk about the USDA giving out funding, doling out dollars, but to meet Lincoln Yee, to see his space, to see how he hopes to transform East Cleveland is remarkable.
Getting even more to the farm level here in 2024, a new wrinkle to these reports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not just being out there in the field, so to speak. While we love doing that, that agriculture spans so many facets. I mean, almost what is it? 1 in 8 jobs throughout the state is somehow connected to the agricultural economy. So when you really find those little nuggets of stories that you're able to share with folks, it puts a smile on my face. Even when we're talking about things that are tough, right? Like the wrinkles in that supply chain. When people are able to persevere, and there is a perseverance with farmers, with anybody in that space, when you're able to highlight that, meet those people, and see it and feel it, it's incredible.
So people can contribute to this on a weekly basis. What are you looking for when it comes to your viewers and our listeners giving some videos or pictures to add to this report each week?
Yeah, we appreciate you doing the plug there. We would love anything and everything from folks if they're any bit involved in agriculture. Again, we want to highlight every facet of it. So whether you're birthing a calf, whether that calf's real little laying out there, we had one not too long ago get shown on the Ag Report. We did a segment on what do farmers do in the off season, and you and I both know they're still doing a lot. So we showed farmers pruning fruit trees. We showed another facet of agriculture. It's on the rise out of Clark County, where this group of folks takes in young adults and teaches them leadership and fiscal skills, budgeting, things like that. By getting them out on the farm, we had videos that they'd sent in of them feeding the hens as well as feeding the goats. So it runs the gamut, really. Anything you've got, we would love to see it. We would love to share your story on the Ag Report.
When do these reports air?
These air every Friday throughout the day. Yep, and we've been doing it strong for about 4 or 5 years now. So it's been an incredible relationship with Andy, a great relationship with you, with Farm Bureau, everybody. It's been something special that I never imagined I'd be doing, and I'm so happy I'm doing it. Hope to continue doing it for a long time.
Well, as you know, I work with media on a daily basis, and very rarely do we get as much attention in the ag space as we do with you on Spectrum News 1. Chuck Ringwald, an anchor there, based out of Columbus, but his reports run statewide, covering all facets of agriculture each week. Appreciate our relationship and appreciate all you do to get the word out about exactly what goes into farming and food production across the Buckeye State.
Absolutely, Ty. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.